My name is Laura Jacobs, and I'm so honored and excited to connect together here across the globe about a wonderful topic, one that's near and dear to my heart. And as we jump into the topic of empowered success, doTERRA's very own system of training, any wellness advocate who has a desire to build a doTERRA business, it's wonderful to tee off that conversation and share with you that this is also a story, a true story of co-impact sourcing. You know, we talk about our plants and our oils so much that way, and it's wonderful to say that our system was done in the same way, right? We went out into the field, we pulled in amazing treasures from the field, and we put together this amazing system. And so it's for the field, by the field. Now, one thing that's really important about why have a system is that people actually don't duplicate, right? You can't just cookie cutter people and expect to churn out, you know, identical leaders. It might seem convenient or something we would all wish, but the fact is life isn't that way. So because people don't duplicate, processes do. And so we've got to establish for ourselves a process in which people can plug into and find themselves in and find a pattern of success. You know, imagine if everybody who came in had to start from scratch, that the learning curve would be so great, and it would make it really difficult for the majority of people to succeed. So what I'm going to present to you is really a beautiful collaborative masterminding that's been put together through really years and years and years, really over pretty much the entire history of doTERRA has been captured in the finest of doTERRA's leaders, and the best of minds have come together to create this duplicable pattern of success. It was almost like a scientific project and research experimentation to find what worked best and was really the principles of success. So what we're going to go through is those duplicable patterns, things that do truly breed success, versus wandering off into what we call best practices. Those are for each of us to discover and to apply, and our conversation is about our training system and what duplicates. So as we look into our system early on, what we encourage is for people to start out with skills training. And it's important that we all learn the recipe of success in order that we can copy it. You know, it's like a child. They have to have patterns given to them to be successful before they can launch off on their own and take off on their own and do things successfully. And so we want to create the same environment here in our business. So as you can see from the chart that's before you, this is a beautiful overlay of the entire empowered success system. And in these first 5 columns, you have what we call our 5 conversations. And these are the things for us to learn how to master in our business first. Now, the launch guide is our first actual rank guide. So as you see that on your screen here, it's important to note that every guide is actually like an employee for you. It's a staff member that's been designed to be a tool that you can hire to do a job for you. And so the launch guide was designed to be that guide that takes someone on that journey from launching their business to achieving the rank of elite. Now within that guide, you can see that when we hit the opening spread, I've got a little animated version for you of a recipe for success. And this is the essential part of this launch experience, is that our main goal as an upline support is to ensure that our new builder has really mastered that recipe for success. And so here, as you look at the opening spread of the launch guide, you see each of the guides represented that are part of those first 5 conversations. And so what we invite to happen then is a mastery of those 5 conversations in the early stages of our business. Again, this is skills training. So as you look at the checklist at the bottom of the slide, the invitation is to 1, know your guides. 2, to leverage those guides. Remember, they're your hire, they're your employee. Put them to work for you. And 3, know the job that they do so you know when to employ each of them at the right time. Now, before we jump to the next part of empowered success, let's just stop here for a minute and let's make sure we understand the value of these guides, because as you can see, belief is everything. If we don't have belief in our product, our company, our opportunity, and ourselves in that opportunity, then we really have no foundation on which to succeed. So the combination between the principles of success and then nurturing the belief that every wellness advocate comes to the table with in order to successfully execute the job that we're here to do, right, which is to change lives, then we've got to have belief to back up those conversations. So before you, I just want to remind you of the things that are the most important for us to believe in. Number one, as we're sharing product through our Healthy Can Be Simple booklet or our Natural Solutions classes or our lifestyle overviews, we've got to believe in our product. We've got to understand the quality and really be able to represent that well to the person that we're speaking to in those conversations. We also want to understand our sourcing. Our sourcing is one of our most amazing, pioneering, can't be found anywhere else, magnificent qualities of doTERRA. And it deserves to be focused on. So being capable of believing in co-impact sourcing and what happens for doTERRA, it's a story to tell. And so we want to fill our hearts and minds with those kinds of facts. We're taught last year's convention that doTERRA has 96% exclusive or proprietary sourcing. Again, big part of our story, a big part of our belief. And then we move into kind of more of a business mindset, and we remind ourselves, this is a slide from a Dave Sterling presentation about how doTERRA is different. Our culture is different, that we lead with our product, which is unheard of in the network marketing direct selling industry. And then we follow that up, like we're a people business, right? We lead with relationships and changing lives with our product through our opportunity. So our largest gear is people, our second largest gear is our product and the lifestyle that we teach those people, and then the business opportunity that drives that, versus how other companies are leading with the opportunity. So this idea, believing in the fact that we lead with product, is actually a really big deal. So for companies out there in our industry who are leading with opportunity, their retention rate is very poor, typically under 10%, where with doTERRA, because we lead with product, our retention rate is astronomical and unheard of in our industry. And it's such a sight to behold. And that's one of those beliefs we want to tuck into our heart and hold close. So as we're representing our opportunity in our conversations, we've got these facts and these things that we can share with our prospects. Our compensation, my gosh, believing in our compensation plan is huge. Like teaching people what it means to be part of a company that provides a leadership-driven compensation plan, and that the more we help others succeed, the more we succeed. And to understand that we have 4 or 5 different ways we get paid and how to appreciate those opportunities is another part of belief we want to make sure we've loaded ourselves with. Our leadership, our executive team, like if you go through and you rate our product, our sourcing, our compensation, our executive team, our culture, they're all at 10. Where can you find an opportunity on the planet where that can be beat? It's, in my opinion, it's nowhere. And I've been around and been in different companies and seen many things. I don't think there's anything comparable to doTERRA. So as we're talking through these 5 conversations with people, we've got to have the capacity to represent who is doTERRA and why is it unique and why is this opportunity a 10? Now, lastly, one of our most tender and near and dear to our hearts is our giving. And doTERRA has a global initiative to give back to those who are our sourcing partners and to those with needs across our planet. And this is a beautiful part of our story and part of our belief that we, again, plant in our hearts and minds. So early on in our career in doTERRA, we're focusing on this process of believing in our product, our company, our opportunity, and ourselves in that process. And there's a skills training and there's those 5 conversations. Now we're moving on, that once we've hit silver, we're moving into more of a leadership level in doTERRA. And now it's important that not only have we lived that recipe, we've learned it and we've practiced it and duplicated it. Now we need to learn and turn and train others who are coming up in their new ranks and launching their businesses and how to do the same. So in order to do this well, the other part of the Empowered Success System is our Train by Rank guides, which you see here on your chart represented in the final column. Now the beautiful thing about the purpose of our entire Train by Rank program is we didn't put elite and silver and premier and things on the cover. Instead, we put words like trainers, right? We put train and lead and multiply and influence and inspire, because what we're doing here is we're progressing people. We're progressing an individual from being a builder to a trainer, to a leader, to a multiplier, to an influencer, to a person who inspires. And that is at the heart of our business training, that through these beautiful guides, it's a character building process. That remember, our largest gear is people. We're focused on people and creating leaders and people who can do that. Now, as we look through this train by rank process, I want you to understand that, again, when we start out with skills training, it's that people need to be told what to do. And the guides are so important. They don't need to make it up from the air and the wind and from no place. That the guides are there to tell them what to do. And like a child, the first thing we need to learn how to do is like obey the recipe and to be told what to do. And again, that's the purpose of our launch guide, is to teach people the process of becoming a doTERRA builder. Now, once you've done that a few times, you're like, okay, I got this. I got some more questions. I want to do it more refined. And now we take them into a more exacting process where they're asking for more. And this is the purpose of our train guide, is to teach exactness and the process of teaching our builders to now become trainers. And then third, at this stage, again, of skills training, we're taking them into the character stage. This is who I am and this is what I do. And that is the purpose of our lead guide, is the process of becoming a leader in doTERRA. And then we're ready for a different level of play, right? It's become our character. doTERRA is who I am. It's what I do. I believe in my product. I believe in my company and my opportunity. And I believe in myself in that. And that's what we've fostered up through this rank of silver. And then we move on into more of a leadership position. Now, a couple final thoughts for us together. When it comes to success, the very best success to duplicate is your own. Surely in life, you have talked about something you're passionate about, you've enrolled people in your cause, you have trained people in ideas, you've recruited people to come to an opportunity. We've all done these things and we have our way of doing them, and you want to go back and be conscious about those processes. Like, what made you a great enroller? Go back and get conscious about your success and see yourself. And then the best success to duplicate then is your own. So the other part of the invitation is, we've just talked about empowered success, which is the cake recipe. And you know what? Every cake needs frosting. People are tasting the frosting first. They're seeing the frosting first. They're looking at the cake and they're looking at the package, which is you, and they're buying you. They're enrolling because of you and your credibility and the trust and that of the people that are offering them doTERRA. So we want to make sure we're conscientious of being ourselves and frosting our cake our way. And then there's this beautiful pairing between living the cake recipe and honoring a duplicable system, but still being ourselves in that, because that's what keeps it fun. That's what keeps it our own and unique. So be sure that as you're teaching, you're inviting your squadron of leaders to be themselves. And you're creating an environment in your training where you're teaching people to aim who they are, their gifts, their talents, their strengths at their business. That we're not teaching just a mechanical process where we leave ourselves out, that there's truly an art to our action. And the art is who we are, combined with those principles of success, which is really truly what makes this magnificent. So again, as I began, I want to remind us that we need to understand the difference between principles of success and best practices. So you may have a way of teaching a class or closing or recruiting that's really uniquely your own process. You know, as I look at my own strengths and the way that I represent, that if I try to get, and I've had this experience, right, where I've tried to model that for a builder and it's just not who they are. And so I've really learned in my training to give permission to people, like, this is the principle of what we're doing. Now, how can you shape that out in a way that it breathes you into the process? So really having a combination of these two things together. So truly there's a balance of proven success principles and best practices and personal strengths. And this is what makes our customized approach and what empowers us on this foundation, again, of empowered success. We can build our businesses with this beautiful partnership by bringing ourselves to the table. And so my final invitation to you is just embrace this amazing process of this thing called doTERRA, where we focus on people, and this is truly a process of becoming, right? Becoming a better person, becoming a better wellness advocate, and inviting other people to enjoy a life where they too find themselves on higher ground. Thanks for the time together.